What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Jalbos. More on him later. His opponent today also playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. The map is Watering Hole, and this is just a random Voobly ladder game. The best type of game, because this is when everyone puts their theory to the test. There's nothing really on the line apart from a couple of E points and some ego and all the other things that come with it. So you can kind of try whatever you want in these situations. And this is where we learn, and this is where we get better. Now, Jalbos, the man, the myth, the legend. I got no idea who this guy is, but he says he's from Australia. My countryman. Yes. Apparently he was a strong player back in 2011. There was a point in that period where I was not really playing Mythology, and I think he existed in that point. And he was a very, very strong player. So I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with. Got a couple of games from him coming for you guys tonight, and hopefully we get some good shenanigans, But Odin on Watering Hole. You know how I feel about this one? I feel that Heimdall is probably the way to go here, for the most part, in the old Odin mirror. Simply because if you can get Einherjar, it means you have complete free reign to walk around the map. Your opponent is not going to be able to beat that army unless they get to the heroic age. And even if they do get to the heroic age, you will also get to the heroic age. So it's really not that simple. It's not as simple as just kind of sit back, defend with Freya and try and get to the next stage. Because, like, what do you get with Freya? You get a Valkyrie, which you need to put some pressure on with, but you can just leave a Herser at home. With Forest Fire, which generally will do nothing. As we are seeing Jalbos getting a little bit spicy here with these villages. No ox cart on this location. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. Obviously, I mean, it might be. He's just getting his temple up a little bit earlier, trying to get up another dwarf here. Rapl, on the other hand, just doing kind of similar stuff, not rushing in this game, no crazy fast advance time, no middle temple. This is not soup playing in this game. This is not soup playing in this game at all. So maybe we'll have a little bit more of a calm Odin mirror here at the start, and a lot of craziness will definitely arise from this. And we are actually seeing Freya coming through here for Jalbos. So there is a world here where both players do actually go Freya. And in fact, that's what we're seeing. Neither player opting for the Heimdall. So what this generally means is this is a very old style of playing Odin before all of the crazy hyper-aggressive Odin games that we've been seeing recently. This is going to be an old style, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of heavy raiding, mass raiding cavalry game here, whereby timings on getting thundering hooves and how important making Valkyrie are going to be is going to dictate everything here. And honestly, we'll see how it's going to go. We are seeing Rapl getting super defensive, already throwing down an initial wall here. Moving over onto this relic here, we do have the Pygmalion statue. This is easily one of the best relics in the game. It helps your villagers' survivability like a ton. It's one of those relics that I see when my opponent picks it up and I go, well, that just completely kills off every strategy that I want to do. But we'll see. Rapple's going to take that one back home. We do see an immediate forest fire here. And no villagers are dead. But a little bit of chaos here for Rapl as he's misselecting some units. But the village is simply just going to move over onto a different location. And we do have the Raven flying around for Rapl looking for something as the Herser of Jalbos coming in. And he does have the toothed arrows, which is unfortunately useless. It gives you a little bit of extra damage on your Ballister, so maybe hyper late game. But even then, in the Norse War, you probably don't want to make Ballister too often. It's just not that good. So, unfortunately, for Jalbos, Rapl does get the win here on the relic, because he has his Pygmalion statue in here. He's going to be making raiding cavalry. And the Raven going to be flying around doing all of the good stuff. We do see that so far, thus far, Rapl has not cast his his forest fire, not his flaming weapons, his forest fire, and he's almost sniped the villager here with this Valkyrie. We do see the Valkyrie swinging around for Jalbos onto this location, but there is already a Herso over here to defend, and there's the forest fire. Again, both players wasting their forest fires. It's not like it's the best god power in the game, but it definitely has a lot of utility in the mid game here, which we're not going to be seeing. But, you know, sometimes the gamble is worth it. If you win one game out of 100 by killing off 3 villagers with a forest fire straight at the start of the game because they decide to be very silly and just sit in the forest, then that can be worth it sometimes. Can be worth it sometimes. So now we have 7 dwarves currently on gold for Rapl. He's going to start making those gatherers. This is a pretty nice timing to be, or nice macro awareness to be... To take note of. 7 dwarves is like how many you need to kind of produce roughly the right amount of military units consistently. You can see 2 longhouses, completely fine. And then the gatherers come out onto food. The other alternative is to go up to 10 dwarves on gold and then build dwarves. So obviously, one will favor getting out those gold units in the heroic age a little bit better, like the Frost Giant, and the other's going to be obviously a bit different. So you see one house getting taken down here. It looks like it's going to be close, but just going to be kept alive here. Jalbos going to be all right at this point defending, as he's going to be retreating away with his raiding cavalry, and Rapl can actually return to this location. Very sneaky. He might have noticed that Jalbos is leaving this. He's going to come back in, finish off that house. Nice play by Rapl here. He might even go after another house. It can be very, very annoying losing your house as Norse. So we see one of the gatherers getting pushed back to raiding cavalry. Going to swing around here, try and block these raiding cavalry from retreating. And we will be seeing them just simply squeezing out, almost losing one. And medium raiders does come through there for Rapl as well as he manages to get out of here. More raiders coming in here. And he does currently have the favor to get Thundering Hooves, but without the food income just yet. Not going to be able to get it. Has to wait just a little bit longer. If we check out Jalbos' perspective here, 65 to 65 population, throwing down another longhouse at this point. House back over here to block this location. Don't want to be losing that gold mine. Not only that, he does have a back gold over here, as opposed to Rapl. He also has a technically has a back gold here, which he's already kind of got defended with this wall, but it's definitely more open than Jalbos's. So we'll see if he's going to be able to hit any raids. I'd love to see, and always do love seeing, stray docks thrown up in these situations, because your opponent's never going to be prepared for a raid on this location if a transport ship or even just a longboat comes in here. And all of that other good stuff. So now we do see the raiding cavalry going to be taking the gate of Jalbos down, as we see watchtowers coming in. This is an interesting pickup here for Jalbos. He's going watchtowers, and I wouldn't hate it if the idea here was grab watchtowers and cut raiding cavalry, because he's got hippopotamus in his base. Obviously over here is a little bit more dicey, and he can just sit over here and defend these villages. But get watchtowers, go heroic age, live the dream. Rapl, on the other hand, he is kind of doing a similar thing, but not really. He's still producing 2 longhouses worth of raiding cavalry thus far, but he definitely might want to consider going to the heroic age here instead of just mass medium raiders. And if you've been following any of my strategic thought of late, the question is always, what value do I get out of building units versus what value do I get out of advancing to the next age? And obviously, advancing to the next age, I get access to Frost Giants, which are huge in this matchup, and then also any upgrades and everything else. Whereas the units, I don't really get a whole lot. I mean, defending these raiders here is going to be very, very important. And I think Rapl's already got the units out here to defend this, as he is leaving. We are seeing Jalbos leaving some raiding cavalry at home. And Thundering Hooves does come through now for Rapl, as Jalbos's medium raiders are going to be getting caught out here. We check out Jalbos. He's not getting Thundering Hooves just yet, just mass units, throwing up an armory at this point. Dwarves moving on to the back gold mine here, as the raiding cavalry turning around, fighting this one just a little bit. Do manage to pick off 1 raiding cavalry there. Nice play from Jalbos to snipe and then run, but we do have the speedy raiders coming in from Rapl, trying to get us around here, as he does manage to get a little bit of damage done onto these units. If you don't kill them, though, it can be less than ideal, because he does have the Odin bonus of simply just just getting the HP back. So this low HP raider, if he gets away, we'll get back up to full HP. We do see one raider falling over on this location as well, as Rapl manages to clean up another free unit there, playing very, very nicely thus far. And we are actually just about to see Rapl advancing to the next stage. 104 of 115 supply. The Jalbos, 109 of 115, still making those raiding cavalry, looking to push forward, looking to find something here. We're even starting to see some farms getting thrown down by Rapl for some reason, as he should be advancing to the next stage just about. We will probably be going through Skadi here, as he does click up through Skadi, and he is very much in front of the curve here for that advance time, as Jalbos, full population, and that's kind of it. So the other thing that I've been fairly consistent on recently is once you start getting closer to 115 supply or population in the classical age, it's actually time to cut military buildings from production if you're not like consistently fighting, because the idea is that you never want to have idle town center time. And if you're sitting at 115 supply, like Jalbos is here, Rapl's actually getting further and further ahead in terms of civilian units, because, well, he's advancing and you're not producing villages. And so he'll be able to get some more as we go in. We are seeing some more Valkyrie coming in onto this location. The raiding cavalry are going to be turning around, fighting. Both players do have their thundering hooves. Jalbos doesn't have any armor upgrades, neither does Rapl, as Jalbos retreating away. And we are seeing Jalbos opting to get himself a second town center here, which is incredibly interesting. I don't think that this makes a whole lot of sense here, but he is going for it. Maybe it's some poor macro forcing him into that situation there. As we do see the engagement now coming in, Jalbos thinks that he's got some sort of a victory for this fight, but he is having to retreat out of both paths there. The question is who really came out victorious in that fight. Jalbos 113 to 115, Rapl 115 of 115, going to be looking to get himself his own second town center. Now he's in the heroic age in a very, very good position. He's able to start making some of those frost giants, as well as maybe thinking about getting winter harvest, but he does still have some zebra in the corner over here. He's onto the crowned crane as well. Definitely don't want to neglect that, and on the zebra here, as well as all the hunt in the middle of the map. It is totally worth it to get onto that hunt if you can, as we are seeing a stray Herser here getting caught here. Haggishaka. Avind Haggishaka. As we also see heavy raiders coming in, absolutely huge for Rapl's raiders here to take this fight right now, as we are seeing Jalbos getting a lot of free DPS to start the fight off now, but losing out on a couple of raiding cavalry as he tries to retreat away when Rapl decides to turn around. We also see a market down for Rapl here as he's going to be gearing up to go to the Mythic Age. We see Skadi coming through now for Jalbos. The question really is here, is it worth it to go Ragnarok this quickly, or is it actually better to go tier? And we are seeing Balder as the god of choice. We do know that from a lot of experience that clicking Ragnarok first is generally a mistake, because your opponent's going to be able to get a couple more villagers out by the time your heroes of Ragnarok get in. But if you're this far ahead of the curve in terms of getting to the Mythic Age, maybe it's totally fine to just go for a very early rag here for Rapl, as Jalbos having to sit back, trying to figure out how he can get some more upgrades. He is getting himself the heavy cavalry. The town center in the middle is up. The raiding cavalry here getting caught out just a little bit, having to retreat away. Still no armory upgrades for either player just yet. Rapl 115 to 130 population now, as the villagers in the middle decide to not go on to that hunt. Even though I think that it's a fairly equal fight here, but maybe Jalbos just doesn't feel comfortable taking that one just yet. And we are, in fact, seeing the third town center getting grabbed here as the raiding cavalry coming through, going to try and look for some raids, but there isn't really any avenue just yet to find that. We'll see where he's going to go. He's moving up to the top corner of the map, but there is nothing here just yet. This does give Jalbos a very, very nice option to go for a counter raid or simply come back and defend. We are seeing some houses getting sniped down there. Nice play by Rapl, always getting just a little bit of value out of his raids when he can't pick off any other villagers. As the villagers finishing off the last of the zebra over here, they might be worth it to sneak this location there, but there's the Mythic Age coming through for Rapl. He can start making fire giants as well if he wants. Thinking about getting himself champion raiders as well wouldn't be a bad idea. Throwing up more longhouses. No hill forts down just yet, so no need for Jalbos. We just have so many raiders for Jalbos right now. He's 3 town centers, 145 of 145 population. The market is up. He's going to be looking to get to the Mythic Age as fast as he can, and he will be going through Baldur as well. And this basically means Rapl cannot click Ragnarok. Rapl cannot click Ragnarok until he gets all of his town centers up. And I do question whether or not Rapl actually has the civilian unit lead at this point. Let's quickly check that one out. Civilian unit is slightly in the advantage for Rapl, while Jalbos has got his 3rd town center. He's actually caught back up. So we'll see as the fight is now ensuing. We do have the Frost Giants in here, causing the big damage with their special ability. The Fire Giant walking in here, going to be looking to get a little bit of damage, but we do already see Jalbos making a forward movement onto that Fire Giant, but a bit of a misclick from Rapl, not hitting the Frost Giant. Big mistake there is Jalbos going to walk in here, be able to pick off this Fire Giant completely for free, as he does get frosted there, and there's the champion Raiders in for Rapl. 109 supply for Rapl to Jalbos. It's 119 thus far, as the fight is still ensuing. We see the Ursa on top of this Frost Giant, trying to keep his own Fire Giant alive for the time being here, as the Raiders continuing to take this fight. The Frost Giant's trying to retreat away from those Ursa, staying alive, but it looks like Jalbos is completely getting cleaned here on this fight simply by the pure macro here from Rapl, getting out champion Raiders. They're so clutch. Look at how much stronger the Raiders are than for Rapl than Jalbos, as he's got 162 HP, 28 hack armor versus 20 hack armor and 141 HP. Also 11.2 hack damage here. We are still seeing that Fire Giant going after the Frost Giant here. If the Frost Giant comes back over here, it's not that big of a deal because the Ursa are here. It's just 20 seconds of freezy time. And we will be seeing the Frost Giant probably falling as now Fire Giant coming in. We're starting to see the transition into throwing Axeman, which is actually really smart from Jalbos. If you can get mass throwing Axeman here, at least with heavy upgrades, it's going to be a lot easier for him to win a Ragnarok fight than the other way around, as both players spamming out their villages thus far. We even see some defensive or offensive docks here to get onto this town, in a very nice awareness from Rapl. The question is, does Jalbos know about it? If we check this out, he has spotted this dock coming up, but he is missing this dock, as the Ragnarok does get clicked there by Jalbos. He's clicked it first, 222 population. Rapl is simply just going to wait. Just wait, keep building villages, make sure you get at least 1 ox caravan, if not 5. You should be aiming for about 5 ox caravans before you click up. Does Jalbos have any? No, he does not. That means this rag is as all in as it possibly can. And we are seeing Jalbos saying, well, I can't deal with this dock, gonna have to take it down. And then Rapl is gonna have to defend over here as best as he can. Sitting back, 143, 160 population, more villagers getting produced, more units coming out. We see the throwing Axeman here. Do we have Huntress Axe? Not just yet. He does have a lot of favor in the bank, so he can get that one up if he so chooses when he gets the gold. But he has run out of gold on this position for now, but he's going to be moving his units forward, ready to click Ragnarok. It's going to be an absolutely huge Ragnarok here, as Jalbos is still walking forward. 219 population to Rapl's 301 population here. Armor upgrades, we've only got copper mail, copper shield. Rapl's got himself bronze mail, copper weapons here, and he's going to be attempting to take this fight, as we see some raiding or Heroes of Ragnarok coming around the back of this fight. The throwing Axeman doing a whole bunch of damage over here. We see a huge frost by Jalbos hitting the majority of Rapl's army, and Rapl decides to frost that back in turn, as the army swinging around over here, going to be able to clean up all of these units. There is a stray Fire Giant here as well that's going to be completely useless against these Heroes of Ragnarok, as Rapl is completely outmaneuvered Jalbos in this game. These throwing Axemen getting absolutely minced, and Jalbos in that moment does end up tapping out. This was an absolute masterclass from Rapl here. An absolute masterclass. If you check out the post game here, I would gauge that the resource total for the majority of this game was incredibly equal, and yet Rapl gets to the heroic age much earlier, gets to the Mythic Age much earlier, gets so much more tech. Look at the research count. It's only 2 research count in front, but that's champion raiders. That's a huge tech to be in front when the resources are so close, and that's bronze mail as well. Plus all the villages. Really, really, really well played game here for Rapl. Lots to learn here if you guys are buddying Odin players, finding yourself playing a lot of Norse wars and get into this Freya war. Basically just played it perfectly if I don't know what else to say. Incredibly good game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.